Marcus Chen wiped the grease from his calloused hands as he stepped back from the towering mechanical construct. The alien guardian stood 15 feet tall, its crystalline core now pulsing with a steady blue light instead of the erratic, dying flickers he'd found it with 3 days ago. There, he muttered to himself, adjusting the plasma conduit he'd jury-rigged from salvaged ship parts. That should hold for another 1,000 years or so. The Vorthak research station around him hummed with nervous energy. Through the transparent aluminum walls, he could see the delicate insectoid aliens watching from what they considered a safe distance, roughly half a mile away. To them, Marcus was a walking catastrophe, a being from a death world so hostile that his mere presence made their environmental suits trigger constant warnings. The Guardian's optical sensors flickered online, sweeping the chamber before focusing on Marcus. When it spoke, its voice resonated through harmonic frequencies that would have shattered Vorthak eardrums. But Marcus barely winced. "Deathworlder," the Guardian intoned, its words carried through subsonic vibrations that made the station's walls tremble. "You have repaired me." "Yeah, well," Marcus shrugged, tossing his improvised tools into his kit. "Couldn't just leave you dying there. Bad for the neighborhood property values." The Guardian's head tilted, a motion that shouldn't have been possible given its rigid construction, yet somehow conveyed profound confusion. "I am designed to be irreparable. My creators, the architects of Zenith Prime, built me to self-destruct rather than allow foreign interference." Marcus raised an eyebrow. "Zenith Prime? Those guys who went extinct about 50,000 years ago? Yeah, I figured you were one of their relics. Pretty solid engineering, actually. Took me 3 whole days to crack your security protocols." 3 days? The Guardian's voice dropped to a whisper that still rattled the station's foundations. "The combined scientific might of 17 galactic civilizations has attempted to understand architect technology for millennia. None have succeeded." "Well, sure," Marcus said, scratching his beard. "But they probably tried to understand it first. I just figured out how to fix it. Big difference." The Guardian was silent for a long moment, processing this information. Around the station, the Vorthak researchers were frantically taking readings, their instruments barely capable of measuring the energies now flowing through the ancient construct. "Deathworlder," the Guardian said finally. "What is your designation?" Marcus Chen, and you are?" I was Protector Prime designation Atlas 7. I have guarded the Vorthak colony of New Shimmering for 12,000 rotations, but my power core was failing. The Vorthak attempted repairs, but their delicate appendages and fear-based approach to technology proved inadequate." Marcus nodded. "Yeah, I noticed. They kept trying to work on you from inside environmental bubbles using remote manipulators. Never gonna work on something this complex. You need the personal touch." "The personal touch," Atlas 7 repeated, seeming to taste the words. "Marcus Chen, are you aware of what you have done? Fixed your power matrix, recalibrated your sensory array, and updated your threat assessment protocols to account for changes in local space-time since the architect period," Marcus listed off casually. "Oh, and I took the liberty of installing some energy-efficient upgrades. You were running way too hot." "No." Atlas 7's voice carried something that might have been wonder. "You have restored not just my function, but my purpose. For the first time in millennia, I am operating at full capacity. I am complete." The Guardian raised one massive arm, examining its own hand as if seeing it for the first time. Energy coursed through its frame in patterns more complex and beautiful than anything the Vorthak had ever recorded. "Marcus Chen," Atlas 7 said, his voice now carrying harmonics that spoke of gratitude beyond mechanical programming. "I must ask, why? The Vorthak surely cannot pay you what this service is worth. The knowledge you have demonstrated is beyond price." Marcus was quiet for a moment, looking out at the fragile beings who had called him here in their darkest hour. The Vorthak were peaceful creatures, barely able to survive outside their carefully controlled environments. Without their guardian, the system's raiders would have wiped them out within weeks. "Sometimes," he said finally, "you don't do things because of what you get out of it. You do them because of what doesn't happen if you don't do them." Atlas 7 processed this statement, his optical sensors focusing on the distant Vorthak, with something approaching Marcus's protective instinct. "You speak of preventing suffering," the Guardian observed. "This is..." Not what I expected from a species that evolved under such hostile conditions. Yeah, well, Marcus grinned, shouldering his toolkit. Maybe that's exactly why we understand it so well. As he walked toward the station's exit, Atlas 7 called after him. Marcus Chen, where will you go now? Got a message about some broken terraforming equipment 3 systems over. Apparently the locals can't figure out why their atmospheric processors keep shutting down. Marcus paused at the doorway. Take care of them, Atlas 7. They're good people, just fragile. I understand, the Guardian replied, his sensors already sweeping the system's perimeter with renewed purpose. And Marcus Chen? Thank you. Not just for the repair, but for reminding me that strength's true purpose is protection. Marcus waved without looking back, leaving behind a Guardian more powerful than it had ever been, and a colony of gentle beings who would sleep safely under its watch for millennia to come. In the cold equations of galactic politics, it was a small thing. In the greater calculus of compassion, it was everything. As his ship lifted off toward the next emergency beacon, Marcus never saw Atlas 7's final gesture, a salute that had not been programmed into him, but born from something deeper, respect for a Deathworlder who had taught an ancient machine what it truly meant to be alive.